All right. Can everybody hear me? Yeah. All right. Wow. It is truly an honor to be here with you all today. It's total blessing. I know a lot of you woke up super early to get here, so I am very honored. And hopefully I can share with you a few things that I've learned along my journey as a player, as a teammate, as a coach, that may help you in your journey as a leader and a student athlete at high school level. So I am fascinated with this question. What separates a good team versus a great team? And I think the margin is so small. And it's in the daily grind of becoming the best version of yourself. So really quick, I'm gonna take 90 seconds to introduce myself. As Dennis Stanton just mentioned, some of the stops I've had along the way, I'm gonna kind of give you an overview of my life and career as a player and as a coach. And it has helped me shape my philosophies so that I might be able to help you a little bit. All right, middle school hoops, West Oak Lane Wildcats. All right, played high school basketball at St. Joe's Prep. Played Division I basketball at Boston University. Got an awesome opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament. We lost to Kansas. All right, we're the 16th seed, so don't hold that against me, but it was a great opportunity. Those are some of my teammates up there. All right, my first stop was an assistant coach at St. Joe's Prep. That's Chris Clover. He played at St. Joe's University. Got a chance, as Dennis Stanton said, to coach at Roman Catholic for 5 years. Cut a couple nets down. During that time, worked with some of the best high school athletes in the country, as well as high school coaches, coaching with USA Basketball. Got a call from a friend, Dwayne Killings, who's the head coach at University of Albany, offered me an opportunity to be an assistant coach at University at Albany in upstate New York. The following year, my coach in college, Pat Chambers, got a job at Florida Gulf Coast University. He said, hey, Matt, we've got 85-degree weather in January. You want to come down to Florida Gulf Coast? I said, hey, my wife and I were in upstate New York. No problem, coach. I'm on my way. Florida Gulf Coast, great experience, learned a lot. And then now in my current role at Bucknell University, where I took the job in May. And just this summer, I did a challenge, trying to become the best version of myself. I completed a lifelong goal and dream to complete an Ironman. All right, swim, bike, and run. And so along this journey of all of the teammates that I had, the coaches that I worked with and worked for, the coaches in this room that I've learned from and competed against, I've kind of picked up some clues on how to become the best version of yourself. And for you all, as aspiring leaders and student athletes, how, as leaders, not only on your team, but in your community, do you take your team from good, right, which is the majority, to great, which is that small group? So, raise your hand if you've seen one of these charts before. All right, this is a bell curve. All right, if you haven't seen it, you will in your stats class. If you're not taking stats in high school, you will take it in college. But this graph shows, it's a normal distribution. It shows that the majority of teams that you can think about, all the teams you compete against, all the players that you compete against on a daily basis are in that orange. They're the good. Right? It's normal behavior. It's just showing up to practice. It's doing what's required. That's where most student athletes are. Most teams are. So how do you go, and as a leader, how do you impact your team to take it from good to great? And hopefully today, I'm going to give you a couple pointers what I think that you can apply today to help your team. Take your team to the next level. Regardless if you win a championship, because that's not always what it's about. It's just becoming the best that you can possibly be. All right. So, it starts with you. All right? Becoming a leader and taking your team from good to great, it starts with each one of you. On a daily basis, becoming the best version of yourself. Good to great. You gotta lead by example. All right? So, one of my favorite basketball players, Damian Lillard. He now plays with the Milwaukee Bucks. He talks about doing the lonely work. To perform well in front of thousands, you must outwork thousands in front of nobody. The lonely work, you must lead by example. So all the hours when no one is watching, that's the time that you lead by example. Your coaches might not be there, your teammates might not be there, but it's the unglamorous work that you put in consistently. Could be studying for a test. So, quick example. I got a chance to work with this young man. He's in this video, he's 16 years old. This young man came to me after his freshman year of high school. Raise your hand if you're a freshman in high school. All right, so this young man was just your age. Now in this video, he's 16 years old. He says, Coach Matt, I want to be a leader going into my sophomore year. How do I do it? I said, we got to put in the work. You have to put in the work. You have to lead by example. That will take us from good to great. All right, that'll take us from good to great. So we got in the gym. This is a rec center in North Philadelphia. Day in, day out. Maybe not every day of the summer, but consistent work. Consistent lonely work. Becoming the best version of ourselves so that we could take our team from good to great. It starts with you. All right, so see if this video plays. But it doesn't. But we work day in, day out. Now, fast forward 3 years from that moment. This young man, just 6 weeks ago, led the NBA in rebounds per game, field goal percentage, and dunks. Now, there's no question that this young man, Jalen Duren, is talented. But he developed the habit of becoming the best version of himself by putting in the lonely work. So, taking your team from good to great, it starts with you. Lead by example to impact that change on your team. Number 2, elite communication. I broke it down into 3 categories. Number 1, give energy. All right? Give energy. So when you walk into a room, a classroom, your gym, on your field, are you the person who gives energy? I'm going to show you what that means. All right. Number 2, be coachable. All right, that is imperative for a leader of your program. You got to be coachable not only with your coaches, but also with your teammates. And number 3, celebrate your teammates. So number 1, give energy. There's 2 things you can do. 1, give energy, or 2, take it away. All right, so we're going to try something. We're going to try something today. All right, so give energy. You're going to take 10 seconds, and to the person to your left or to your right, it's probably somebody you already know, so this should be easy. All right, you're going to give them energy in whatever way that you possibly can. All right, wait, don't go yet. All right, so all you're trying to do is uplift them. Uplift them in any way that you can. All right, give them some positive feedback. Give them a boost of confidence, whatever it is, in your own words. You guys ready? You guys ready? Ready. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Bring it back. That was, you know what that was? That was elite. That was elite. Now look, I'm looking around the room and I'm seeing young men and women who are smiling. This room is just went from here to here. Because you walked in and you decided to give energy to that person next to you. That is selfless. That is selfless. That's leadership. Now, on the contrary, you can walk into the room, or someone can, and take the energy out. Or as leaders, we want to help create an environment where all of us are uplifting each other. It's not easy to do. I know we were having a little fun, and you guys did a great job. Phenomenal. It's not easy to do. Why? Because life is hard. And every day you walk in, you're not going to be in the best mood or have great energy. So leaders, no matter how they're feeling, doesn't dictate their energy or them thinking about someone else. Another way to look at it too is this. You're getting ready for a big game. Stretching, you're warming up. You could be so focused and locked in just thinking about yourself, you forget that your teammates are going through the same thing. So how can you give energy to that next person, give them a boost of confidence before the game? Really, really important. So excellent job. That was phenomenal. That was elite communication. All right, that takes your team from good to great. Number 2, be coachable. Young man, Xavier Brown, he's got Rookie of the Week, St. Joe's University. All right, as a leader, be coachable. All right, so there's a couple ways to look at this. Number 1, be willing to listen. All right, be willing to listen and learn. All right, me as a coach, guess what? I've learned more from my players than I probably taught them. So I also have to be coachable. All right, so the second part of that is when you talk to your teammates, right? Because in the heat of a competition, we're all competitors in here. Every one of you wants to win. I know that. You wouldn't be here. You would not be sitting in this seat if you didn't. That's awesome. Now, let's just pretend in the heat of a competition, something goes wrong. All right, raise your hand if you're a football player. All right, help me through this. What position do you play? All right, quarterback, outside linebacker. That's perfect. All right, outside linebacker. Who are you relying on defense to help you as an outside linebacker? All right, linebacker and secondary. So the person behind you, right? All right, so say you're an outside linebacker and the person behind you doesn't do their job. So they go to double coverage and really they should be in the back. All right? So now you have to maybe coach your teammate. And it's really important how you coach and how you say it to your teammate. Because obviously you want to win. You both want to win. But someone had the right intention. They were trying. But they made a mistake. They had bad execution. Hey, no problem. So let's role play this. How would you come and let's say I was in the secondary. What would you say to me if you don't mind me putting you in the spot? What's your name, by the way? No. What's up, man? Coach Matt. Nice to meet you. I'm in the secondary. I messed up. My bad, Noah. What would you say?
Like, move on to the next play. We got one more play to go. Like, just one play at a time, and then do your job next play. Do the right thing next play. And if you mess up again, same thing next play. One play at a time.
That's freaking awesome. Hey, clap it up. I'll tell you what. That's leadership right there. If I'm playing with Noah, guess what? The next play, I'm running through a wall for you. All right? No, seriously. You hear how he communicated that to me? He said he came to me with kind of a side of empathy. He knows how hard it is. And guess what? We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. So he didn't start attacking me. Oh, hey, why didn't you do this? You messed that up. I can't believe you. He said, hey, listen, keep your head up. Get ready for the next play. Let's go we're in this together. That's awesome. So be coachable with your teammates and understand what it takes to communicate effectively. That takes your team from good to great. And lastly, celebrate your teammates. I'm an assistant coach at Bucknell University. That's our team right there. We just played at Penn State. I might add, we got a W on the road. All right, no big deal. Not to brag. No, but here's the deal. That's the bench. None of those guys are playing. By the way, there's 3 or 4 guys on that bench who came to me about 2 weeks ago and said, hey, coach, how can I get in the game more? All of them want to play. They're dying for more minutes. Every one of our games is on ESPN+. So all their friends and family are saying, hey, why aren't you playing more? So they could easily be upset. And, coach, why am I not playing? Oh, he made the 3. I'm not celebrating. No, it's because it's not me. Great leadership is your ability to think about the next person. And even though you might be upset about not being in the game, guess what? Celebrate your teammate. That is so big time. That is so big time. That is what makes the difference between a good team and a great. Because you know what the average team does? He made the 3, but it wasn't me. I'm sitting on the bench. That is energy. Celebrate your teammates. That takes your team to a whole nother level. Any opportunity you got, Even if it's a little thing. Hey, man, great job out there. Great job, because guess what? It'll be your turn. And sometimes it's you, and sometimes it's me, but it's always us. We're in it together. All right? 3, relentless effort. All right? Relentless effort. So, regardless of outcome, effort, it doesn't matter if you're down 10, if you're up 10, if you have 0 wins on the season, if you're undefeated. Relentless effort will take your team from good to great, no matter what. So, I threw this picture up there. That's me in college. I'll tell you what, I think we lost this game for sure. And I don't know if I even got this ball. Raise your hand if you're a volleyball player in here. Couple volleyball? All right. How much does it hurt diving on the floor? It hurts a lot. It hurts a lot. I give so much credit to volleyball players. They are unbelievable. They dive all over the place. It's incredible. And so that hurts. And when you're diving on the floor, not knowing the outcome, you're just giving a relentless effort for the person next to you, for your teammate. That's leadership. That's leadership. So we lost this game. At the end of the day, it wasn't about losing or winning. It was about putting forth your best effort. This is nothing that you haven't heard before. This is what it's about, though. This is about each person leading themselves first and then infiltrating through your team. If everybody can give a relentless effort, man, how good will you be? You'll be great. You'll be great. So, quick story. This is a young man, Seth Lundy. I had the pleasure and privilege of coaching. To the left is a picture of him dunking at the Palestra, where University of Pennsylvania plays their basketball games. That was his sophomore year. He dunked the ball. We lost the game. Now, outcome doesn't matter. He was giving everything he had. That was a habit he developed. See, relentless effort is a habit. It's something that you have to do every day in everything that you do. It's in all your homework assignments. It's in being a great teammate. It's in practice every day, especially when you don't feel like it. And of course, it's in competition. Fast forward. For the next 2 years, he became captain of our team to lead us to 2 championships. Now, there's no doubt he's talented. But talent did not dictate his effort. And that's for you all today. His effort is all up to you. And it's a decision that you can make today in this moment. So look, today is a great opportunity. You're going to learn so much about yourself and the person next to you and about leadership to take back. Give it everything you got. Those prompts in those classrooms are awesome. I read them all. They're phenomenal. You're going to get a lot out of it. But engage and be vulnerable because it is incredible. So give relentless effort. Fast forward 4 years from after he graduated from Roman. This year he was drafted by the Atlanta Hawks, 46th pick. Not because he was more talented than all the players in the world, it's because of relentless effort. All right? And lastly, I think the most important. Good to great, going from a good team to a great team is based on the power of your attitude. Life is not going to go perfect. You're not always going to play the minutes that you want. You're not always going to score the points that you desire. You're not going to win every big game. Right? It's hard. It's very, very hard. There's no question that what you're doing right now is very difficult. But if you understand the power of attitude and how it can change your life, you will take your team from good to great. I love this picture. Freshman and sophomore in these pictures. Justice Williams on the left, he plays for Robert Morris. Jalen Durr on the right, plays for the Detroit Pistons. And Xavier Brown in the middle, plays for St. Joe's University. All right, we're losing this game. We are playing Camden on the road, and we're down 8 or 10 at this moment. It's a packed house, standing room only. Basically the most competitive environment you could possibly be in. Xavier Brown is a freshman in this picture. Justice Williams is a sophomore. We've all been there before, where the young player on your team makes a mistake. Things aren't going your way. You envision the game, the competition going much differently than it is. You're losing. how could we be losing? But in that moment, you understand the power of attitude. Things aren't going our way, but it's how we respond. So instead of putting our head down, we put our arm around that person. Hey, attitude. Pick your chin up. Next play. Like Noah said, next play. And that's what it's about. It's the power of attitude. So understanding that nothing here will be perfect. All the competition and throughout your careers, nothing will go necessarily as exactly how you envision or plan, but understanding that no matter what, you have a decision to make. You have a decision to respond positively or negatively in that moment. And as a leader, to impact your team, to be the difference between good and great, you have to decide in that moment. We respond positively. We respond with a positive attitude to take our team to the next level. All right, so what is it that separates the good teams from the great teams? This is the average. This is what everybody does. This is the norm, right? Some days we show up to practice and we're locked in, coach. No, we're pissed off about yesterday's game. We're ready to go today. And then the next day, that kind of feeling wears off, and we just have a subpar effort. Inconsistent. That's normal. That's normal. That's human nature. I'm tired today. You know what? I don't have the energy today. It's just not here. I don't have it. That's normal. That's good. That's mediocre. That's what kind of everybody does. Think about all the teams in your league, all the players across the country, all the intense competition that you're in. That's what everybody does. But today is about what the uncommon does. Today is about how you can separate from the rest. And it's simple, right? Success leaves clues. So all those that you have learned from, that you've seen, have done it at a high level, learn from it. Apply it. You can apply it today in this moment. Right? That's you. That is you. That is you today. That's why you're here. You're going to take your team to a level they've never been to, regardless if you win a championship. And I promise you, if you can do those four things, if you can lead yourself, lead by example, if you can have elite communication, if you can uplift the room like you did this morning, if you can communicate in that way, I'm telling you, you're going to have relationships that last a lifetime. These are the type of hugs that you'll get with your teammates, with your coaches. This means more to me than anything, any championship, or any accomplishment. It's these moments. They will all be there for you. Because honestly, that's the most important thing, the person next to you. All right? So, lead by example, elite communication, relentless effort, and the power of attitude. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys.
All right, before we break, I do want to open up for any questions. I have a couple questions for Matt before we get to our breakout rooms, but any student athletes, ADs, or coaches, any questions back there?
What'd you say to the three guys that asked how you can get more playing time?
I said, hey, look, like, you're doing great stuff. Keep working. And honestly, I think it's our job to kind of be honest, right? Be honest. Hey, you're doing these things, three things well. These are the things that you have to improve upon. I think it's very, young men and women, they need to have a plan to get better. And ultimately, there might be somebody in front of them, a senior, a junior, somebody more talented that's playing those minutes. Stay the course. Power of attitude. Hang in there. It's not easy. It's not easy if you want more playing time and you're searching for it, you're striving for it, but you're not getting it yet. So the message is keep working, As hard as that may be, but that's it. That's a great question.
Yeah, I love that question too, because so many of our student athletes, you can tell, we want them to take ownership of conversations. So, go have that conversation with the coach. But if you're going to have that conversation with the coach, be prepared for an honest answer, okay? And the other thing is a lot of players will say, what are two things I need to do to get better?
All right, the question is, if you're a leader and one of your teammates is more in their own world, how do you kind of go about that? It's all about getting to know each other. You have to get to know each other. How well do you know your teammate? Like, do you know how many brothers and sisters they have? Do you know exactly where they're from? Like, seriously, the reason why people play so hard for each other is because they know each other at a high level. And if your teammate, that's a great question. If your teammate is not bringing it, they're kind of in their own world, there might be something going on that's not just the sport related. And so just reaching out to them, being a friend first. Hey, you all right? Everything good? I got you. All right, be an energy giver. Lift them up. That will go further than anything that you could possibly imagine. And then from there, help them get locked in. You know, like I say, be a come with me guy. Like, hey, we're going to the gym, come with me. Hey, going to the weight room, come with me. Right, bring them along with you. That's what leaders do. It's not about getting to the top of the mountain. It's about putting the ladder down. Say, hey, come on up, come on up, come on up. Not easy to do, but that's a phenomenal question. And I think it's a big part of having a great team versus a good team.
You're a young underclassman who's got leadership problems. How do you make your voice heard in the upperclassmen?
Very challenging. Here's the thing. If you're being empowered by your coach, you're very talented, you're a young student athlete, and you have older student athletes on your team, you have to be yourself. You have to be yourself. And I gave a couple examples. One is you can just lead by example, right? Two would be find your voice. But I think with any of it, it goes back to trust. So if you're putting in the work on a daily basis, you're an energy giver every single day. Like, you have a consistency about you. I think being consistent is one of the hardest things to do, by the way. Showing up every day, day in and day out, and being an energy giver, woo, that's hard. You can do it. And when you do that, you build trust. And then, great teams, they don't worry about that hierarchy. Oh, I'm a senior, I'm not listening to a freshman. Oh, I'm a senior, I'm not listening to a sophomore. That's your ego. You gotta get rid of that. That's a team killer, right? That will crush your team. No, you can learn from each other. Like, I can learn from all you today. You can teach me something that I don't know. There's no question. There's no doubt about it. So let your ego go out the door. Doesn't matter if you're an all-conference player. You can learn from somebody that's younger than you. And if you're younger, guess what? Don't be afraid. Have courage. Build that rapport with the people on your team. Listen, I've coached high school teams. One thing that kills a championship team, clicks. Like, if you have 3 girls or 3 guys that only hang out with those 3 girls or 3 guys, oh, that's the young. We're not talking to so-and-so because they're a freshman or sophomore. You're not going to win a championship. No chance. All right? You got to bring people together. Get to know each other. Get to know each other. You are now part of a team. Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Once you let go of your ego, you're all in it together. That's it. All right, that's a great question. Most effective way to coach effort. You know what's funny is, like, Gino Oriema. Anybody know who he is? You know who he is? Awesome. He's the UConn women's coach, one of the winningest coaches of all time, winning percentage-wise. And he says, hey, I don't coach energy and effort. They just recruit young ladies who have energy and effort consistently. So when you have someone on your team who's talented but doesn't bring effort every day, they have to see, again, success leads clues. They have to see what the highest level student athletes do, or highest level athletes do. Like, their level of consistency is absolutely incredible. That's why, like, when I coach with USA Basketball, U16, U17, U18, all of them are your age. They didn't know me at all. And when I tell you, like, yes, coach, hey, coach, how do I get better? Like, what can I do more, coach? They didn't even know me. So when you think about elite level players, if you have goals to be elite or just be the best version of yourself, effort has to be, like, start with effort. All right, start with being coachable. So as a coach, to kind of bring that out, I would show them examples of young men and women their age, or maybe a little older, who are doing it at the highest level, or doing it at a level that they want to get to. Now you can see it. Look, you're talented. You can do this. I believe in you. Now it's a consistent effort. Like, let me show you what it is. Like, you can do this. So that's how I would do it. I'll just show examples and try to get them to raise their level. And then when they're doing it well, reinforce it and make it known to the group. Like, yo, you see John's effort here? This is awesome. This is what we expect. Like, let's keep it up. Like, he's impacting this team at a high level. And guess what? He didn't score the point. He's just dove on the floor. You see Jessica? She gave that extra effort. That's what we're all about. It's not the first effort. It's the second effort. It's keep playing. Even when we're down 10. So, like, those things, I think, for a coach, like look for that stuff. When they're doing it well and they're going above and beyond, you got to harp on that big time.